How do single women go on dates with random men that they've never met?
I'm not a good woman, okay? I promise you don't want me. I don't cook, I don't clean.
I've been getting a lot of responses from men saying that they don't want modern women have bad attitude.
That is just the truth. And it's the main reason why men don't want to deal with them.
Girls like nice guys. You're gonna get friend zoned because you're too available.
There are just not enough attractive men out there, and there are so many hot women.
Is when men get upset that a woman wants a man with money, yet
Many of these women want a man with money. Thing is, they bring nothing to the table. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
I'm not a good woman, okay? I promise you don't want me. I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't do 50-50. I'm smarter than you. I won't listen to you. I will stress you out. And I like to spend a lot of money, okay? We ain't compatible. Leave me alone.
Whenever I've heard a man say, let me see what you look like with no makeup. Let me see what you look like without the hair. I feel that that man is telling you that he does not have the money to finance your beauty upkeep.
If you're ugly, just say that.
Yep.
This video is in defense of the modern woman because I've been getting a lot of responses from men saying that they don't want modern women have bad attitudes, or that they shame and guilt and all these negative things. While I'm not saying that there may not be women out there who are this way, I do want men to understand that this comes from somewhere. That a lot of modern women, I'm gonna speak for myself in this situation, don't trust men to be a traditional man, therefore allowing her to be a traditional woman. A lot of times grow up in households where men were not the providers or the protectors. And what was instilled in us from either our mothers or just from our own observations is that we have to take care of ourselves and we have to be independent, because you cannot rely on a man, not because we don't want to, but because we've seen dysfunctionality in the way that our parents had their relationship. So as I speak to other modern women, a lot of them say that it's not that they wouldn't like to be taken care of, it's the fact that a lot of women don't trust men because of the men that they've seen in their lives.
Well, everything starts with her. If she isn't traditional, there's no way for her to attract a traditional man. And these men are completely right for not wanting to deal with a modern woman. The attitudes, the entitlement, the lack of accountability, and the masculine demeanor are major turn-offs for the majority of these men. A man who leads, protects, and provides doesn't want to come home to someone who constantly challenges him or brings chaos. And if a lot of women can't trust men because of the men they've seen in their lives, whether it's their fathers, brothers, or past relationships, then those women should be looking to heal, not projecting that distrust onto every man they meet. Healing is necessary before entering a relationship. Otherwise, they'll sabotage any chance at something real. Carrying unhealed trauma and expecting a good man to fix it or carry that emotional baggage is unfair.
If I was a man, every woman would want me because I would just love and cherish them and tell them how beautiful and precious they were and kiss them on their foreheads.
There's a woman that already tried this.
Nora was surprised that many women had no interest in a soft, vulnerable man.
My prejudice was that the ideal man is a woman in a man's body. And I learned, no, that's really not. There are a lot of women out there who really want a manly man.
Do not try to catcall me, because really I look sweet, but I'm really not nice. I'm not nice at all. And it's going to hurt your feelings when the look on my face tells you to die. Like, and then if you keep on and I have to fucking form words to tell you to die, you're going to be so hurt. And then I'm going to be a bitch. And then guess what? My car is really big so I can run you over. Who's the bitch now?
The only men who like to go overseas to find a partner is men who like to prey on vulnerable women. Because when you go find a wife in the Philippines or Thailand or Eastern Europe, I'm assuming you mean they're more biddable, that they're less outspoken, they don't demand anything of you, that they're just happy to be rescued from their poverty-stricken life of no opportunity, and in return, all they have to do is subject themselves to your advances. Why you want to go overseas to find a partner? Is it because you prefer your woman biddable, without opinions, unable to fight back, and vulnerable?
So bitter and so angry. She mentions that the only types of men who go overseas are the ones preying on vulnerable women. That statement right there is complete nonsense. It's a weak, recycled insult used by women who are upset that they're no longer the default choice. Just like this woman, there are many others who echo the same sentiment, exposing their jealousy and bitterness. The truth is, they're not mad about what the men are doing. They're mad that the men are done with them. The majority of these women are just upset because they're not wanted, and they don't know how to cope with that reality. Instead of looking inward and asking, why are so many men walking away from women like me, or Western women, they attack the men who found peace and appreciation elsewhere. It's not about vulnerability overseas, it's about femininity and respect, things that many modern Western women have rejected.
When we have a society full of women with no accountability, guess what? It just repeats the cycle. And then the daughters grow up same exact way. We're teaching our daughters how to be queens instead of being wives. Teaching young men to be gentlemen, to be providers, to pay for everything, to open the doors. Meanwhile, we're telling our daughters, know your worth and never settle. So one side's learning selflessness, the other side's learning self-prioritization. But unfortunately, little girls are taught what do they deserve versus what do they also bring to the relationship. And I'm raising a protector and a provider. And the last thing I want is my son to end up with your dusty daughter thinking that being submissive to a good man is oppression. Last I checked, equality doesn't mean that women get to wear the crown while men get to carry the cross.
Last night, I was at dinner with my girlfriend and we were talking about the fact that there are just not enough attractive men out there, and there are so many hot women. And I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? Even if I were to walk down the street right now, I could guarantee you in the span of a few blocks, I would see a handful of gorgeous women, women with style, women with poise, women who are just conventionally attractive. And I might see one attractive man, and that's on a good day.
Maybe it's not that men are no longer attractive. Maybe it's just that you're not attracted to men. Men are being made the same way men have always been made. I don't know. I think the same argument could be made by men talking about women, because men oftentimes they love a more natural look from women. But let's just consider that our standard of beauty might be getting a little bit warped between men and women, because women that put themselves on a pedestal will say that men are not taking care of themselves if they're in jeans and a t-shirt. And as that's happening, I just think that we all just need to bring ourselves down a notch and humble ourselves.
I would have to agree on that. This is exactly why I say women overvalue their beauty. With all the filters, photo edits, angles, and attention they get on social media, a lot of them have developed a false sense of self-worth. They start believing they're something they're not, thinking they're 10s when, in reality, they're average at best. So when they step into the real world and reality doesn't match the validation they've gotten online, it becomes a harsh wake-up call. Now this woman is saying it's hard for her to find an attractive man, but the reality is the men she's running into are probably exactly her type of man. The real issue is that those men aren't checking for her the way she believes they should. She can't see them because she thinks she deserves someone out of her league, based purely on looks that are either fading or fabricated. It's not that men aren't available, it's that her inflated ego won't let her accept the men who actually align with her.
It is a man's role to provide.
Okay.
Yeah. If everyone keeps talking about the traditional roles, then
yeah.
I guess it is a man's job to provide.
So if it's a man's role to provide,
yeah,
will you take care of the house?
Of course.
Okay, so you will cook, clean, support him?
No.
No?
I will hire someone to
exactly.
do it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I sense a bit of double standard.
No, but if I can afford it, if my man can afford it, then why? I'm giving birth to your kids, no? Obviously, if I want to work, I want to have my own side thing, I would love to. Yeah. But it's not going to be to bring money in the house.
Okay, so what's the woman's role?
Taking care of the children. Giving birth.
So raising the children.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, that's fair, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. To a certain extent, that's fair. Like, you can hire someone to cook, but you can't hire someone to take care of your kids. I love how every woman is always talking about how they don't want to settle. They're not settling for less than they deserve. Okay, but honestly speaking, most of the women that are saying this don't really deserve much. Like, you guys are not a catch. You're living in this delusional world and you think that you deserve the world. You expect men to settle for you. And just because you have these unrealistic expectations and standards, why the hell should men settle for you when they actually deserve a whole lot better? And that's the reality. And that's why men are walking away from dating. Men just don't care to put in the effort anymore. Men are not going up to women anymore because men don't want to settle either. But the funny thing is, men are actually more realistic about their expectations. Women are not.
That is true. The reality is a lot of women will say, accept me for who I am, flaws and all, but then turn around and list 1,000 things they expect from a man. He has to be tall, make 6 figures, have emotional intelligence, be in shape, be loyal, be romantic, have status, ambition, patience, and the list goes on. Meanwhile, they're bringing entitlement, attitude, and a laundry list of past trauma to the table, expecting to be worshipped just for showing up. Many of them will loudly proclaim, I deserve this, I deserve that. But the truth is, you don't deserve anything you haven't earned. Relationships aren't about entitlement, they're about value exchange, character, and mutual effort. If a man has to work for love, respect, and loyalty, then so should a woman. But modern dating is flooded with women who believe just existing is enough, like beauty is some kind of permanent currency with infinite value. What they don't understand is that beauty fades, entitlement repels, and men today are walking from that.
Where are all the single straight men? Like, I genuinely think there's an inventory issue, because when I tell you guys, I know so many single women that are successful, beautiful, fun, funny, cool, intelligent, like amazing, amazing women that are the full package, but cannot find a guy.
Y'all, this is why I will never do 50-50 with a man. I don't believe that we are equal in any way, shape, or form. God literally made men and women different for a reason with their own responsibilities. So you will never catch me trying to take up the responsibility of a man in our household. Absolutely not. Y'all, for real, I'm just a girl. I'm literally just a girl. I'm perfectly fine being the stay-at-home wife that makes a ton of money from my phone, and I actually am there to take care of the kids. I am perfectly fine with that. But that's why it's so important for you guys to marry good and to marry a man that also has these types of values. Because even the men that have that 50-50 mindset, I'm sorry, but that's not manly at all. You expect your wife to split 50-50 with you on bills while she's taking care of the children she birthed for you? That is diabolical. That's diabolical, and that can never be me.
Maybe back then, this setup would have worked. But in today's world, where prices are up on everything, from rent to groceries to childcare, that mindset is completely unrealistic and selfish. This woman's mentality is basically, your money is our money, and my money is mine. That's not a partnership. That's entitlement disguised as empowerment. If your wife is comfortable watching you struggle to pay the bills, carry the full financial burden, and stress day in and day out while she hoards her income, or refuses to contribute, that is not your wife. That's a roommate with benefits. A real partner steps in, supports you, and makes life easier, not heavier. This woman says she wouldn't go 50-50 because she gave birth to children. First off, yes, childbirth is a sacrifice, but parenting is a two-person job. And financial responsibility doesn't just disappear because you were pregnant. That logic falls apart fast, especially when many women today expect luxury lifestyles, constant upgrades, and financial security, all while refusing to help build or maintain it. The truth is, using motherhood as a reason to avoid contributing financially while still demanding a man cover everything is manipulative.
How do people go on dates with people that they don't know. Like, truly, how do single women go on dates with random men that they've never met, they don't know, they've only had like a few conversations with? I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious how women go on dates with men, like how women go on dates. If I don't know you, like, stranger danger, I don't even want to get to know you. Stranger danger, I'm also not going to waste my time. If I don't think that you're going to be 100% perfect for me, why am I going on a date with you? I don't care about a free meal or whatever. Losing on an afternoon or an evening of my free time to waste my time is not something that I am looking for. I don't go on a date unless I know that there's potential, which is probably why I've never been on a date.
The female loneliness epidemic is here, and I'm here for it. This is what happens when you sit out here and you promote these pandering content creators who play to your hurt emotions, your bitterness, and your terrible experiences. So that way y'all get online and you spew, vitriol and hatred toward men because, you know what, you had some bad dealings with a couple of them. And now my timeline is filled up with women complaining about, where's all the good men at? Where are the men at for this? Where are the men at for that? Where's the men that want to go on dates? Where's the men that yearn? Where's the men at court? Where's the men that do da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da? And now my new timeline is filled up with, where's all the men at for the singles events? Where it's nothing but women at singles events. It's like 95% women at these singles events. What happened? Where's the men? The men listen. Y'all thought that making these videos go viral, these content creators who try to, pander and manipulate to your emotions and your bad experiences, you thought talking shit and bashing men was going to be fun. It was fun for the moment. It helped you feel good, right? But men paid attention to that shit. Realized a lot of you don't even like men. And now y'all got all these women out here begging, crying, where's all the men? Well, maybe you should hold women accountable.
The reality is, modern women brought this upon themselves. This wave of female loneliness we're seeing today. It exposes a lot. It reveals that despite all the independence talk, despite the "I don't need a man" slogans, many women are in fact deeply lonely. That's why we keep seeing videos of them crying in their cars, venting on podcasts, or asking, where are all the good men? It shows that pushing men away, belittling them, making them feel unwanted, treating them as disposable, had consequences. Consequences they never thought they would face. For years, they were told they had all the time in the world, that men would always be there, that they could do what they want, live how they want, and a good man would still be waiting at the finish line. Now, female loneliness isn't just about wanting companionship. It's a mirror showing the results of years of poor choices, pride, and ignoring the value of good men. And it hurts because deep down, they know the men they want no longer see them the same way, and may never come back.